Out with Rico and Carla is about to go live online. Catch select moments of All Out hit music, All Out celebrity interviews, All Out showbiz and sports news, All Out fun. Mid-mornings on the Monster. Streaming video on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, or twitch.tv/Monster RX931. Your All Out hosts, Rico Robles and Carla Aguas. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Coming to you live, and we couldn't be more excited because you are part of this journey with us. We are flying solo, no Carla Aguas, but I'll do my best to represent Carla as we talk to this great man. Man, when it comes to energy, yeah, he comes in the purest form. If you got a homie, this is that dude that you're gonna talk to when it comes to great advice in life. Oh, and did I mention that he could play a good basketball as well? Ladies and gentlemen, back on the show. This is the first time on the show, but always back here at the station. The one and only Mr. Pure Energy, Gary B.
Hey, what a great intro, and hello to everyone that's joining us this morning. How are you, Rico?
Good.
It could be better in a certain way to be out and about.
But
making the most out of this situation, you know what I mean? So
I understand.
How you been? How's everything going?
Well, welcome to my world. This is it right here. This is where everything is done. This is my studio. So every performance that I did during the pandemic was done here. There was a couple of other concerts that I did, one outside and one upstairs. But this is my world right here. And then when my children come, when Gab or Kiana or Paolo come and visit with Leia and Sam, then I step out for a moment, and then I come back here again. When I work, when I reflect, when I pray, when I cry, it's all done here. It's basically it.
With studio life, with everything that's happening, what's the difference now that when you get in the studio? Because I know you have one of the most high-tech studios in the Philippines.
It just looks it, but I know the stuff that you see here, I only know like half of the stuff that I'm not a master of anything except trying to put my music all together. But yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot of gear over here, but yeah, that's how I am.
So is it a great place for you that you can share that it's sort of like your sanctuary?
Yes, it is. This is where it's at. This is where, if one time I can come out live, maybe, I don't know, I know Kumu is probably a great way to do it, but just to come out live and let people in on how I actually work. Because you'll hear me talking to my instruments when I discover something new, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's why I gotcha. I love that. Okay, let's do something else. But that's how I am. That's how animated I am when I work. But this is my sanctuary, Rico. This really is where everything is done.
When you make music, right? And you play the instruments and everything, is there any sort of mantra that you do, or routine that you do before you get the music on?
I'm like this, okay? Before I even, or whether I'm about to start on something or whether I'm done with something, I usually hop onto a tutorial online, as to how to mix a song, how it should sound and all. And honestly, I'm a hit and miss guy when it comes to satisfying my own, getting to my own expectations. But that's my basic mantra. I spend time with tutorials, and then I kind of learn something new, and then I apply it to what I'm about to produce, or even with stuff that I haven't released. I just try and insert and say, okay, I'll do that with my next song, or I'll do that when I produce somebody else's music, maybe later on.
Is there any like specific album that you like to listen to? Do you take time to like Chris Brown, Michael Jackson?
I listen to all sorts of music. All sorts. I even listen to music that I don't even know who the artists are. I just like the music, and then sometimes I go to Kiana or Gab and I say, hey, have you heard this song before? And then they tell me, oh, that's so and so, and that's this and that, and that's that and that. But I'm not the kind of person who is into a particular genre. It depends also on how I'm feeling. Because many times, like when I'm riding, I don't know if people notice this, but I've been releasing some bike vlogs lately. And a lot of the music there, are things that I've researched on. But they're most times when you see somebody mountain biking, the music is like, but many times that's not what's in my mind and in my heart when I'm out on the road in Tagaytay or going to Nasugbu or Calatagan, and I'm just really enjoying the moment. And it's different that the music that I hear in my and what I feel in my heart is very different from what I'm actually seeing and what people would think the music should be like. What I'm thinking of is something totally different. But again, Rico, I mean, I can listen to like Kiana's music is so different from my music, but I love listening to her music. Gab, when he comes to me, Dad, listen to this. It's also very different from what I do. But I love listening to music. I'm a music lover in general. So there's no really one particular. I have different playlists. Playlists of songs that used to move me, songs that move me today, songs that need no words but just move me. So you have stuff from way back, from the Beatles all the way up to Justin Bieber. I mean, I listen to all of that stuff, and I love it. I love
You
music.
know,
You know,
awesome work
awesome
on the
work on the
kids,
kids,
by the
by
way.
the way.
You and
You and your
you
wife,
guys
you
have
guys have
raised
raised
three
three
superstars
superstars
when it
when
comes
it comes
to
to
creativity,
creativity,
and we
and
have
we have
guested
guested
all three
all
of them
three
in
of them in
separate
separate
interviews.
interviews.
And
And
with
with
this,
this,
when
when
Kiana
Kiana
wanted to
wanted to
explore
explore
music,
music,
how did you
how
guys
did you
feel
guys
about it?
feel
Who
about
did
it?
she
Who did
approach
she
first?
approach first?
Now, we kind of knew it was going to happen, Rico, because here at home, I'm in the basement. Okay, so there's the ground floor and then the second floor, no. Uh, and many times, I mean, before when we had less stuff in the house, any audio, anything, whether the dog barks or whether I call on somebody because I need something, the voice reverberates throughout the house. Kiana used to be the alarm clock of the entire family, at least to us, no, as parents. She would be singing all the time. Sometimes in the bedroom, we're both asleep. She wakes up early and she's singing somehow, or she steps out and you hear her voice as she's walking around the house. You hear her voice reverberating throughout the house. So we kind of knew. It was no surprise. The surprise to me was that she became more of R&B, which is, you have a lot of these vocal. You have to have that instinct in you, where you want to take the vocals, how you want to use your vocals to the max without overdoing it or without like showing off to people that, hey, I can do this. But it's naturally in her, and it's something I've always wanted to have in me. I mean, that R&B flavor where you could take the voice anywhere and still come back to where you're supposed to be. That surprised me. And so everything she's come up with lately is no surprise to me. In fact, it's just kept me wanting more and waiting for more.
And
With it,
with her
with
getting
her
into
getting
the
into the
R&B
R&B
genre,
genre,
Mm.
in
in
comes
comes
the
the
music
music
video.
video.
What
What
was
was
your
your
reaction
reaction
when
when
you
you
saw
saw
her
her
music
music
video?
video?
Well, she's got several music videos out there. I'm one person who, if I sense that she doesn't really need much of my advice, then I won't force anything down her throat, and that's something I never really like doing with Rihanna anyway. But uh, if ever there was a reaction to any of her videos, I think some of them really are statements. Like her very first video, which was called Circles. It's a song I produced, and she wrote that song while she was heartbroken, and she wrote it. So I thought it would be a video about being heartbroken. Instead, it was a video on domestic violence and her statement against it. And I was like, wow, for it to have taken that route and that kind of statement, which is alive today in a lot of families, it made me realize how deep my daughter really is. That when she performs, it's not just stuff that she just wants to sing because she enjoys, but she wants to say something. And it comes from the advice I often give others, which is it's gotta come from here. Not from here. It's gotta come from here. And when that happens, even when she doesn't have a voice, she still comes out quite impactful when I watch her.
Oh my!
I mean,
For you to
for you to
share
share that with us, it really feels, Gary, when every time we talk to you and we have you on the show, it truly feels like
you are
you
one
are
of
one
us.
of us. You know what I mean? Like, I want to talk to my mom and dad and be like, yeah, you gotta be like Gary V, man.
Where it
Where it comes from,
it's
it's
pure.
pure. And
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 getting that
getting that
part on Kiana's side, that she talks heartbreak,
Hmm.
and you see her heartbroken, and you see her writing these songs, and you hear it. How do you feel? Was there any love advice that you would give her, you would share to her?
Yeah, there were some things I shared with her when all of them were young. Okay, so when they were younger, a boy would come and Gab would tease her or she would like the guy and all. And there was one advice that I gave all my children, and I'm not sure if they remember this, but it's a corny advice, but it's so true.
Mm,
Um, no one wants to hurt anyone. I don't think anyone really has that in them, that they intentionally want to go out and hurt somebody. But I told them, when it comes to boyfriend, please try and work more on the friend who happens to
mm,
be a boy. Because if you lose a boyfriend, you lose the boy and you lose the friend. But
mm,
I'm happy to say that Kiana has had a relationship before where the guy is still a friend up to today. And
mm,
and for me, that says a lot. Pain in any relationship, I think, is needed. I
mm,
mean, there will be moments when there will be friction, there will be contradicting viewpoints on certain issues, but
mm,
that's what brings out the character. That's what actually can either deepen the relationship or reveal something about the relationship that needs to be worked on.
mm.
And I shared this with my children. Of course, not all of them are the same. So when
Uh,
it's Gabriel, it's we always end up laughing.
mm,
Because uh, his heart is a funny guy. So his
mm,
heart often wants to love and also always hopes to get someone who can reciprocate and understand him for who he is, especially
mhm,
now that he's got all of these things, issues
mm,
that he's got to handle also. So those are the simple the pieces of advice I give, and I always tell them, try and look for someone who spiritually, even
mhm.
spiritually, kasi you won't see eye to eye sometimes, but at least the core value of the person is similar to yours, so that just in case, Kiana, you end up deciding to tie the knot,
Mhm.
um, you won't have to tie much because it's already tied, because you already are on the same plane spiritually, and then later on that can spill on to other things.
There's that middle ground, right? There's that already, that standard, that
Yes.
when you are spiritually tied together, may
And
mga rules na, ungiven, unwritten rules of everything,
it's
so
it's hard enough to keep a relationship together even when you're spiritually the same. What more when
true.
it's not there? I mean, I'm speaking out of experience. I mean, with Tita
Mm,
Angel, she's got she's got her mindset on things, but
mm,
I also have my mindset on things. And for
mm,
37 years, 38 years, we've been at it at times, but
mm.
we're at it at times. I mean, we're still together and we're still working out the relationship, which I think is a
Mm.
lifetime journey anyway to begin with. So
It's a lifetime of journey of grounding each other, which is, for those that are tuning in, we have Mr. Gary V, Mr. Pure Energy, joining us. He does have a lot in stuff or in store for us. Your face sounds familiar.
I know
You're a
it's coming to
judge
an
there.
end. Ah,
I mean, it's the grand. I mean, I know you're not allowed to reveal who the number one or who's the favorite. I mean, is it tough to judge your face sounds familiar, because they're not really singing, right? They're mostly
they
like
are.
doing the impersonation. So how does
Yes,
it go?
they really are singing. They really
Oh,
need to.
really?
It's your face sounds familiar. They have to look and sound alike. With me lang, as a juror or a judge, I am very particular about the sound, because like when you watch movies, it's impossible to watch a scene that doesn't have any sound. You
Mhm,
can't. You always have to have the sound going, even if the video may be a bit with static and all. When you hear the sound, even when somebody greets you in a greeting, you can't just look at it. You have to hear it. You can do without seeing it, but
mhm,
so that's important to me. And they really try and sing. They really do what they need to do to get those points and to convince people this is the best I could do to be Sting, or to be Moira, or to be Ben and Ben. And when they come
mhm.
together and they perform that way, it does leave a lasting impact, because it shows how deeply talented these people really really are. They
And
put
was
for
there
example,
ever was there ever a performer that really truly wowed you, like up to now, out of all the seasons of the show? Was there one that really left that lasting impression, like, oh my goodness, I cannot forget this?
there's not just one. There are several of them. I mean, I liked when JR came out and he did Pepe Smith.
Mm,
Pepe Smith. That's so far from the genre of. See, even my guy, my assistant here, is already smiling because remember, di ba? He came out as Pepe Smith, but he's R&B. But he came out and he looked and sounded like Pepe Smith, and I was blown away. Another one is AC Bonifacio when she did Usher, which I believe Usher reacted to when he saw the video. So it's like what? And she came out there and she was moving like Usher, and for a while you really like wait a minute, I know this is a show and I know that they're only copying, but this is too much. This is too spot on.
mm,
Masyadong eksakto to. And so then you can tell that, the artist either loves the person that, she's trying to copy or he or she's trying to copy, and they really go out of their way to study what they need to do. Plus, you have mentors like Noy Volante and Jed Madela who come out there and really give the pointers that they're supposed to do. Somebody put here
mm,
the TNT boys. Isa pa
mm.
yun. When they came out, it's like, what? You hear them and it's just really hindi lang nakakatuwa, pero parang, wow, we're not just blessed with good singers. These are great artists in
Mm.
total, in general.
And when it comes to, for example, you are being the juror or the judge of the show, and they're doing not such a great, like they're not doing a good job.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, how does
counted.
Gary V tell a person you kind of suck? You know what I mean? How do you tell them?
Well, none of them have really sucked, with what they do. But of course, you have because it's like this, we're all together, Augie, Sharon, and myself, and we're all there, and we're talking about, this person's probably going to do good, and then he doesn't do that well, pala.
Mm,
But I think what I'm thankful for is I think the artists also know, kasi na
mm,
I messed up. Oh, I should have done this. And all. And I have to be honest with them. I can't just say, "Oh, you're so galing" and all, but in
mm,
reality, they're not. No, so I have to tell them, sometimes I break it down and I say, okay, performance wise, good. Vocally, that could have needed some more help. But the character, the attitude, the swagger, I mean, it was all there.
mm,
Vocals na lang ang kailangan mapagtrabahuan. And they get it. They understand it. So that's my way of not telling them that they suck because they did well, but they could have
mm.
been better.
There's a great way of doing that, right? There's always that nice way of wording things,
Kasi they know
and
it.
and
Eh. They know
uh,
na kamali ako and all that. And sometimes you really see that when before I even speak, they're already like, yeah, I know, I know, I know. And I tell them, it's good you know. It's good you know that you made a mistake because if you're feeling bad because of what I say, then it doesn't, you gotta you take everything that I'm saying. And I always tell them,
mm,
your face sounds familiar. It's just a stepping stone for other shows in the future, whether it's a movie or something. But allow this to add on to the experience of being the artist that you want to be.
mm. And when you were starting out, who served as your mentor? Who was the one guiding you? Who was the one that you would get that whole approval from? If you ask them, what do I need to do? What do I need? What are the tips you got?
There were people who would give comments, and it would always end up with my wife, Angeli. She
Mm,
always had the courage to tell me what I needed to hear. And to every young artist that's out there that's hoping to achieve what you want to achieve, please make sure you are surrounded by a team of people.
mm,
Not by just one, by two or three. People who can really tell you what you need to hear. Like I'll give you a simple fact. Before you come out on stage and your zipper's open,
mm,
you have to be told your zipper's open. Doesn't matter if you're in public, but somebody has to come up to you and say, "Sir, ma'am, bukas pong zipper ninyo." It might
mm,
sound funny, but believe me, it's more hilarious if you come out on stage with an open zipper, only because
mm,
somebody didn't have the courage enough to tell you, "Sir, ma'am, zipper nyo nakabukas." So you have to have a team that tells you what you need to hear. In this case, it was Angeli. You know,
mm.
she would tell me, Gary, maybe when you're doing a ballad, you don't have to move in everything you say. You don't have to move. I was like that eh. Nandiyan ka na
Uh,
naman. Boom, 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 pinutukso, tukso. I mean, I was moving to almost everything. And I know that
Mm,
people wanted to see me move, but it got a little over. Or it could have
mm,
gotten to that point had I continued doing that. But Angeli told me, Gary, maybe you shouldn't, okay, okay, I'll see what I can do. Another one who gave me a good tip was Martin,
mhm,
because one of the every singer has the habit of doing a certain motion, and that's where he gets the hugot. That's where he gets the power for hitting those notes that may
mhm,
be up in the air. In my case, when I would do that, and because my songs were really high before, I would always have my eyes closed. And Martin said, Gary, try and open your eyes so that people see you. They can see you singing the song to them. They're not
mhm.
watching you sing. They're seeing you communicating something to them. So I did that. So it was hard, in the beginning, because you're trying to hit a high note and usually you're like but now you're
Right.
trying to reach out to people, and you know what? He was right. There's nothing like seeing the reaction of people when you sing.
I
You
mean,
don't have
i
to
i
speak and say anything. You just know sometimes through the eyes the person really
from
appreciates it, or the person's going
from
through
the
something.
todo emote moment, right, into connecting, and was there a moment that somebody approached you while you were doing that, while you were looking at them, that they were so moved by your song?
There have been moments where people come up, especially like what happened in Hong Kong once. I was there and I was performing for, well, the domestic helpers, and it was obvious that many of them were having fun. But when I would do, oh, Ivy, Nina Campos Herrera, I love Gary V. I love you too, Ivy, Nini. Thank you so very much. But like that, for example, I go to Hong Kong and all, and uh, you're singing a song like Babalik Ka Rin.
Mhm,
Rico, everything changes when I do that song. The whole atmosphere is like, you don't have to talk about it, but you know that 95, 98% of these girls are
mhm,
there without their families, and they're just striving to stay alive. And when I sing and I come down, first they're singing with me, but then after a while, you really see them do this. They don't even have the strength to come up and hug you. They're just like
mhm,
this. I mean, and then I'm the one who goes up to them and I just hold them. I have a post, actually, an old post on Instagram where it featured that particular concert.
mhm,
And I tried to edit something to make people capture the
mhm,
importance of being able to speak to people at the point of their need. At the
mhm.
point that when you have that moment, speak. And so that's what I try and do through my music and through my performances.
I mean, it's just amazing that you can move so many people with your performances, even with this interview. Those that are watching, they're commenting as well. That but what keeps you going on this daily basis, on this daily grind, when you wake up every day? What keeps you going? What energizes you? And what's the first thing that you do when you wake up?
Yikes. The first thing I do when I wake up, well, I have a whole routine of stuff that I do, which I think everybody has. Wash the
Mhm,
face, brush teeth, and all that. But then after that, my mind gets grinding, and it's like that every day. It's like, okay, what can I do better today? Uh, in any area, can I exercise more? Can I create something here that can be a bit more impactful? Can I
mhm,
finish something that might, if it, what I'm thankful for, Rico, is that the things I do when I feel that it makes me feel good, a
mhm,
lot of people also feel good about it. So it's a win-win situation for me.
mhm,
Uh, and then I do spend time in prayer. And my prayer time is kind of different because it's not like, I'm on my knees and praying and all that. I have a hard time staying still. So I just walk.
mhm,
I just keep walking. And sometimes my prayers don't even come out in words. I
mhm,
can't speak them. I don't have the right words to even thank God for everything that He's given me, or how sorry I am for certain
mhm,
things I may have done or said to people. And I just have to walk. And sometimes tears begin to flow, or sometimes I just hum a tune, or
mhm,
I just speak from within because only He can understand what I'm saying. My words will not be, you cannot equate to how much I want to say to Him. So that's how I am. And that happens almost every morning. There are mornings where I wake up and I come down and I turn on the television and I watch the
mhm,
NBA's. It's the playoffs now and all. But you know, I that's how I am with my days. And then I go on, like for example, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's Friday, so I work out later on. I work out here also in the house. Tomorrow I go biking. I need to stay in shape, even if we've got this whole pandemic thing. I want to be prepared just in case the whole social distancing is all cut and we can all come together again. I want to celebrate life for
I
whatever
mean,
we have left of it.
what would be the first thing you would do? If it's back to normal day, what would be that first thing that you would want? Would you have a concert?
Yeah, I think I will. I think I
Yeah.
will. I've been planning for a big concert dapat last year pa, but then the whole pandemic hit and then they said it would only last until so and so. It didn't. So we were supposed to have one this year. In fact, we were supposed to have one for my birthday. I think it was August. I'm not sure, but I think that's when it was supposed to be. But the whole second wave happened, and I just felt it wouldn't be right for me to concentrate so much on a concert at this
Mhm.
time. So we are planning for several events, but it's all in the planning stage, and I need to stay in shape because
Mhm.
it's still going to take a lot out of me, no matter what, whether I do it online or whether I do it in front of people like the way it used to be.
Mhm. I mean, it's just amazing that you are Mr. Pure Energy, so you'll never run out of energy. But
I wish, but I do run
yeah,
out
I
of.
mean, as random as all questions here on the show, we do have all out questions. But napapagod ba si Mr. Pure Energy?
La-
Nagkakaroon din ba ng energy gap si Mr. Pure Energy?
Lagi akong napapagod, especially now. I'm not ashamed to let people know how old I am. I'm 56. I'll be 57 in August. And you know, don't let the looks deceive you. I can come out on stage and still perform. I may not have the same stamina or the same strength as I once had, but there's still the same passion kasi when I step out on
Mhm.
stage. I think people see that. I never want to get to the point, Rico, where I'm performing and people notice he's kind of slowed down, no? So maybe he should stop now. I don't ever want to get to that. I want to
Mhm.
let people say, no, you can still do it. And only I would know, no, I can't do that anymore.
Mhm.
But I'm cool with that because there are still some other things I'm cooking up here that
Mhm.
hopefully people will enjoy in the near future. So I'm cool. In that sense, yan,
Mhm.
hindi ako napapagod. But yung dancing and hataw na
Yeah.
and all, of course I get tired. Even the young ones get tired when they do a number. So what more, di ba? But I love it. I mean, it's like it's a challenge for me, and I'm like, okay, here we go, let's go, let's do this. And then when it's done, of course, I'm the one who's huffing and puffing the most,
Mhm.
but it feels like, oh, that was good. Okay, no, not like that. I'm like, oh, that was good. I like that. That's good. We'll do it again next time, and I mean that. I mean, yeah, let's do it again next time. But I do get tired. People, I get tired. Okay,
Mhm.
it's had its advantages and disadvantages, Rico, because at times there were people before, especially before, parang, yeah, but Gary did that, so I'm sure he can do this, and after this he can do that, and I can, yeah, maybe I could, but I would be pushing myself already to the limit, which nobody
Mhm.
wants to do to themselves. The last thing I want is for me to encounter another health problem because I pushed myself beyond my limits.
And when it comes to you performing on a weekly basis sa ASAP natin to, I mean, for you to do that every week, I mean, how do you prepare for it? Do you have you have an active lifestyle, but what's your diet like? Is there any secrets that you do?
I'm just laughing. No, okay, like this. So ASAP is live every so often, and then we
Mm,
tape the shows. So we do live on a Sunday, for example, and then after the show, we tape some of the numbers for the succeeding shows.
mm,
Then we tape on Monday, we tape on Tuesday, and sometimes we tape even on Wednesday, and that's equivalent to about 3 shows that we do. So you have
mm,
3 shows and then the live show, and then after that we tape again for 3 shows. So we have like 3 weeks off. But the
mm,
preparations are quite tedious too because, syempre, you have to kind of. I don't like kasi I'm trying, my best not to read off the teleprompter the lyrics of
mm,
the song. So I like to kind of get the lyrics into my heart so that I sing to the camera. I follow Martin Rivera's advice. I
mm,
look at people and I sing to the camera because that's what's looking at me. That's how people are looking at me. At times, though, I know it's difficult to memorize by heart the songs because you're
Mm.
only given a small portion of the song, and sometimes you end up memorizing another portion which you thought was going to be given to you. So then you have to go back, and I spend time here in this room. I tell Angeli, I say, Hannah, be down, I'll be studying my songs. And I really try and study them, at least enough to feel comfortable to do it, in front of the camera with millions of people watching, not only from here, but from all over the world. So
Mm.
they deserve our very best. And so we just give our very best. And I speak on behalf of all the other artists too, because I've seen how they work. And it's amazing, Rico. It's
I
amazing,
mean,
Rico.
when you guys do it on a weekly basis, which is, of course, looking at the teleprompter, learning new songs, and you have a few days to get the choreography, maybe the blocking and everything. What was the most difficult song that you have ever performed or tried to perform on ASAP? That you're like, oh my God, we got through this.
I think it wasn't the we. It was something I did as a solo.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm trying to recall. Okay. This is gonna be embarrassing. Before, ASAP had a Christmas special of sorts, no, where they would divide us into different groups, and each group was supposed to give a presentation of any sort for a maximum of 3 minutes. Ay, and I had to. What we chose as a group was to do something from Hairspray, the movie.
Mhm.
So all of us were basically, we changed roles. Every man was going to play a woman's role, and every girl in ASAP in our group was going to play the men's role. So I remember I ended up playing the mom's role. So Volta's role, that was my role. I had to play that. That was tough to do because I know when people saw me, it was like, is he really doing this? It's like, hey, I'm like that. I am crazy in that way, and I like doing things that may shock people, not in a bad way, but oh my, he did that, and all that for me was perhaps the hardest. There was another one that I did, a song of John Legend, where I
Mhm.
didn't sing it, but I actually had to play it. So I had to kind of rearrange the song for me and then
Mhm.
play it live. And I don't know what I play. All of these keyboards, I don't know. You tell me to play a C major an augmented fifth on a E. I don't know any of that. It's what I hear is what I hear.
Mhm.
So, I had to kind of rearrange that. And I think that performance is actually on video, my John Legend song. I liked it, but I was
Mhm.
scared to do it because it's just me and the piano, me and the keyboard. Yeah, those are things that are really challenging for me, Rico.
I
And
mean,
I
it's a bare essential of music. It's the rawest form of it. Having a live instrument that you gotta play it and you gotta sing it.
the thing
And
is,
given
you can't make a mistake. There's no replay,
yes,
so you have to really
yeah.
do it right, and it's scary too. But it's a good kind of scary na parang
Mhm.
kaya mo to. And besides, before we come out on ASAP, we're all supporting each other.
Mhm.
So you have Janine Berdine. I mean, she's like how old? 17, 16, 18?
Mhm.
And we're supporting each other. And then the other young ones, I love to support because I really see so much promise. And they haven't
Mhm.
even experienced that much yet. But these are
Yeah.
amazing singers. And yeah, I love being there for them. And I like seeing them being there for others as well. And
Mhm.
that's how it's been, especially now, especially since the whole challenge of ABS-CBN happened last
Mhm.
year. It's really like this now. That's
I
how.
mean, the stuff that you have gone through for the year itself, it's like, we are seeing it or witnessing it online as well, what powered you through it? What when you face a challenge, you always persevere. What is it what one thing that you do?
With Are you talking about the situation of the
Mm.
station last year, or
Like
just
life in general.
life in general? It still goes back to it still goes back to faith,
Mhm.
Rico. Because in 2018, that for me was perhaps the most challenging of all my years. I've met death face to face, but this was like a one-two punch
Mhm.
that came out of nowhere. If it had been a severe hypoglycemic attack, an episode, okay, I'm used to that. But to actually be on the ASAP stage on April 22 or 23 of 2018, celebrating my anniversary in show business, and then suddenly feel that weird pain in the middle of my chest. Looking to my left and to my right, I still had to dance with Gabrielle and I still had to dance with Karen Espanto. And I was feeling this weird sensation in my chest, right in the middle, only to find out later on that I had a 98 or 95 or 98% block on that main left artery known as the widowmaker. Imagine. And I had to go in for a double bypass on a single artery. And then so I was okay. And then 2.5 weeks later, I'm diagnosed with cancer of the kidney. I'm like, what? So really, but that event showed me where I need to be all the time, whether life is great and more so when life isn't. And it really just went back to faith. As difficult as it may have been for people to hear me have it, the best feeling I had was to know where I was in all of that. And that was in his hands. Wherein, if I was going to go, if that was the time that I was going to supposed to leave Earth, it would be in his hands. If I was going to come through it, I would come through it in his hands. If I was going to find out anything else going on with me, I'd go through it. And besides, I wouldn't go through it alone because I'm in his hands. So he's going through it with me, never watching me from a distance, thinking that, let's see, now if Gary's going to make through, get, let's see if Gary's going to get through this. I was always with him. And that's how I got through last year. And that's how I'm going through in 2021. And I think in the years to come, that's how it's going to be. I just need to make people know, Rico, that I'm not perfect. I'm the farthest thing from that. But when push comes to shove and when life swings at me with all sorts of unexpected things, I go to the only thing that is certain, and that is the fact that nothing can separate me from his love. So I just have to stop, be still, and know that he is God and allow him to orchestrate in ways that only he can. Then I'm okay after that.
I mean, it's so inspiring hearing, and thank you for sharing, all of the stuff that happened, how you went through it, and how you got through it, and continue to persevere. And that alone, that statement alone is empowering so many people. You did mention you're not perfect. One thing that we haven't seen, I think all of us, is that, do you ever get mad? Does Gary V ever get mad? We never seen you mad, like, ever.
No, it's like this. I remember that classic line in The Hulk, and I've shared this with other people before. The Hulk, I think it was Bruce Banner that said, "Oh, don't get me angry, because you won't like me when I'm angry." And I think nobody likes anybody else to be angry because it's not a nice thing to see. But I used to, I had my moments. I've had my moments where I would explode, and when I say explode, it's really mushroom cloud form, nuclear. It. I had that, and I still get angry once in a while. I mean, who doesn't? I expect something to be done. I expect this, and it doesn't work out that way. But I'm also. I'd like to say that I'm also one person who makes it an effort to apologize when I know that I've stepped overboard, or I've stepped over the certain boundaries and I've hurt certain people. I try, and if they forgive me, then thank God. If they don't, then I just have to pray that at some point in time they do. Um, but yeah, I've gotten angry many times. I've lost count of the times that I've gotten angry also.
For those who are tuning in, we have Mr. Gary V is joining us live from his studio. We're just talking about life. We're talking about, stuff that's been happening all throughout, how he handles it. And you did mention about apologizing. For those that are tuned in, they don't know. There are people out there who would probably want to apologize, ask for forgiveness from a person, but they don't know how to begin. Do you have any tips that you can share?
Oh my. You can only pray that the person reacts the way you want the person to react, but you have to do what you must do. And so sometimes the words will just come out from deep within. You're scared because you've hurt someone, and you have to say sorry, and the person knows that you did something wrong, and the person's about to give you everything, tell you everything. Pare, ganito ka, you're a friend, but ganito ka. Just take it. It's gonna hurt.
Mhm.
But I've always believed in the concept of planting good seed on good soil. A person
Mhm.
who is angry at you doesn't mean that that angry person is a bad person. People just react differently to when they get hurt. They just
Mhm.
react differently to that. When they feel betrayed, they act differently as compared to how you might react to it. In
Mhm.
fact, you might even react worse than they would if the situations were turned around. No, but yeah, you just do your part,
Mhm.
and planting good seed on good soil will always produce good fruit. The thing is,
Mhm.
like every fruit tree, as healthy as it is, not all of them grow at the same time. You have pineapples that take 365 days to grow one,
Mhm.
but then you have
Wow.
even a healthier coconut, which takes 7 years to grow.
Mhm.
So, di ba? So even if the person doesn't forgive you now, in the course of time, if that person was meant to really be a part of your life,
Mhm.
then forgiveness will take place, and then a new foundation can be built from that point on. In fact, I think the
Mhm.
person might truly appreciate you more later on because you took the courage enough to humble yourself and just say, "I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I
Mhm.
really did not intend to hurt you, but I did. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. Can you forgive me?" Yeah, but you're like this and you're like that. And okay,
Mhm.
okay, but I just wanted to say sorry, and then leave it at that.
And see how the result, and as Jamie Aves did say, time can heal all wounds.
Yeah.
One thing also that I would want to ask, you're the type of person that probably give the best love advice. You know what I mean? That do people call you and ask you for love advice and they're heartbroken? And what would be your advice to those that are heartbroken?
Alam mo, when it comes to love is no, I'm not. For those who are heartbroken, sometimes I don't even say anything. I just let them know that I'm there for them, even if they just wanna vent. Sometimes
Mhm.
that can be the best thing. Just that there's someone there. Someone is hurting, and that hurting person has someone listening to them, not
Mhm.
telling them, "Yeah, but you know why it happened? Because you did this and because you did that. No, you should have said. No, you should have done it. No, okay, all of that is common knowledge now. It's just that the person is hurting. Can I
Mhm.
just be there for you, just to listen? And if God should put in a word for me to say to that person, then good. But if none,
Mhm.
then I'll just be quiet and just be there for that person, because sometimes that can be the start of the healing process. Not between the two people who've fallen out of love with each other, but just the healing process of that one individual that I am with at that point to help.
Mhm.
You know. But words of wisdom, I can't give any right now, Rico, because I'm not in that situation. These are words that are, there's no formula. There's no formula in saying, oh, he's gonna come back or she's gonna come back, or no, it's gonna be okay, because sometimes it doesn't end up okay.
Mhm.
So you just have to be there and wait for the right moment till your heart is filled from the words that the person is saying, and then you can. The last thing that the person needs is for you to shoot the person and blame the person for what's happened,
Mhm.
even if it's that person's fault. There will
Mhm.
come a time when you can tell the person, okay, it's been 4 months, it's been 3 weeks, it's been 1 year. This is where I feel the mistake was done. Yeah, I know that. I know what. Yeah, no, but I'm just letting you know that this is
Mhm.
what I saw. And I don't know. There's, for me, if there was any, if there was anything that could start uh, the right words to come out, it's just by making sure that you're not just present
Mhm.
physically, but you're there present emotionally
Mhm.
and spiritually for the person who is hurting. And then the
Mhm.
words will come. Sometimes you might not even remember the words after you've spoken them. Like, where did that come from? But you'll see the person going, that really helped. Thank you, pare. Salamat. Thank you.
It's something that a lot of people could actually relate to. I mean, so you give a love advice, you didn't even know you gave a love advice, but it was like the most effective one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're like,
nice
and
to
it
see.
helped them get through it. Yeah,
I
it's that
love
kind of.
those moments talaga. And I've seen it. I mean, I don't give love advice when I'm on stage, but when I sing my songs, somehow they speak to people in ways I never could do if I were just to speak it. But if I were to sing about it, that could be something else, you know. Hey,
So for those
Charlotte.
that are watching us, yeah, there's so many people that are messaging, and they're so inspired by your words, and of course your music. Now, one of the things that I've been wanting to also ask, this is just how random we are in the show, is
Yeah.
that I spotted you at a couple of funerals that you would sing and you would give great words to people, but how often do you perform in wakes and funerals?
I perform. I'm kind. Sometimes I can get choosy
Mhm,
where I perform because I cannot just sing a song and try and give words, you know, words of comfort for someone I never knew.
mhm,
If I never knew the person, I cannot make up these things just to make people feel better.
mhm,
Uh, but I can speak to families. You know,
mhm,
I would rather be there to speak to the families that have lost people because I've lost people that
mhm.
I love in my life. I do this quite a bit, especially before the pandemic. I was doing this.
And how did that get started? I mean, was it more of like somebody invited you, or you had a friend, you lost a friend, and you decided to sing, or is it more of like, okay, because you're the only person that I know. I think we all know that performs in wakes and give great words in wakes
I
and
try.
tributes.
No, I try lang, Rico. I can only hope. How can you comfort somebody who's lost
Mhm,
someone? You know, you really your words can only do so much. But
mhm,
um, the way it started, Rico, was it started when I would get a request. Why? Because the person who passed away was always listening to my music in those dying days.
mhm,
Whether it was Take Me Out of the Dark or I Will Be Here or Warriors a Child or Could You Be Messiah? And they would say, can you please, sing a song at that person's wake because you meant
mhm,
a lot to the person. So when I go, I cannot sing the song for the person who passed away because
mhm,
the person who passed away is already, with the Lord. So I speak to the people who are left behind. And if
mhm,
somehow that song or those songs can speak to them, then so be it.
mhm,
Um, and I don't mind doing that. It's
mhm,
although I must say that it is emotionally draining, you
mhm,
know, these things because you're giving so much. You're trying to reach people, trying to heal their hearts. Not you, but you're allowing yourself to be used, and
mhm,
it can get draining. So sometimes even if I do one or two songs in an occasion like that, I enter my car and I'm like, I'm exhausted in a different way. It's not physical. It's more you kind of empathize and know what the family is going through, and
mhm.
just have to hope that they get through it coming out better and not bitter about the whole situation.
And that's such a blessing for you to share that blessing with all of us. You know what I mean? And make us whole again. Tell us
Yeah.
about this. Tell us
Okay.
about the song. And was this written during the pandemic?
Yes, it was. It was
And what
actually
was the process behind it?
okay. First, excuse me. It started out a little over a year ago when I started writing this song, and I actually wrote it for the ABS-CBN shutdown and for the
Mhm,
employees, all 11,800 of them. And that's why in the chorus part, it's I will sing in the storm, I will dance in the rain. So it still had something to do with what I did physically, with work. But then I couldn't finish the song. I
mhm,
couldn't get onto the second verse and I couldn't get onto the bridge. And I was saying, wait, but I'm not one who likes to force my songs, just because there's a new song that's being done and people know about it. Sige, I'll finish it, just so that other people, will be satisfied that I have a new song. I'm not
mhm,
that kind of writer. I have to constantly be inspired.
mhm,
So after March, April, May, I kept away from the song in June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, when there was talk about the new variants, and I was getting text messages about people either who have died, news about people who have died because of the virus, or people
mhm,
that are related to someone who is holding on to dear life. And these were people I knew, not like the one last year where you will hear of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who had a friend, who suffered the virus. This one was people I knew who were actually dying or lost people that meant a lot to them. And
Mhm.
then I got inspired to continue writing the song. So there you have the lyrics. Here we are. Many are mending their broken hearts. Many are grieving. Uh, they're feeling defeated from all
Mhm.
gone with no goodbyes. You know, it's a common story, among many, many, many people about having to say goodbye and realizing it's the last time. But it's not a sudden takeaway. It takes time before a person succumbs to the virus. So
Mhm.
there should be no chance to go beside the person and say, "I'll see you soon," and then
Mhm.
goodbye. The person just goes, and these things inspired me. The frontliners inspired me.
Mhm.
Um, the the issues of people who now have anxiety disorders or mental issues who've never had these issues before.
Mhm.
These people are the ones that inspired me to finish this song. And again, knowing how people are, sometimes we can get drowned, Rico, with everything that
Mhm.
all the bad stuff that goes on. It's easy to love God and to praise
Mhm.
God. Things are okay. But
Mhm.
I think it needs to be done even more when times are not okay. Just
Mhm.
to just to thank him for who he is and not for what he can give. And
Mhm.
so that part where I go, but we believe that you won't leave us because it's a promise you have made. And even when our hearts get so discouraged, there's not one you will forsake. And and when the waves that we were on a second wave, diba? The whole rising of the numbers in COVID cases, and when the
Mhm.
waves leave us battered on the broken roads that we've got to take, they're broken now, but we have to take them.
Mhm.
May we walk the way that leads to you. May it be the choice we make as we sing in the storm and dance in the rain. And it's inspired by everyone, really, by people who have, and that's all of us, no,
Mhm.
who have gone through this whole pandemic in different ways. It's affected all of us in different ways.
Like
Uh,
Cynthia's saying, it's such a beautiful song. It's such an inspiring song.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, hope you're doing okay.
is
Salamat.
there a music video for this song that you have
It is
filming?
actually there. Okay, it's if you watch the video, it's called "Make Us Whole Again" live and raw. Because what I did
Mhm.
was I sat here, somewhere here in this room, and I just played the music on that computer, and I just recorded the song. I sang the song, and that was it. And I said, let's just have one camera set up so that there's no need to, kind of make it look like a professionally done thing. I just want it to be as
Mhm.
raw as possible because the message is meant to be received that way. Just raw,
Mhm.
just as simple as can be, yet as impactful as can be. So yeah, there's a video out, and there's a little background as to how the song came together. It's all there on the video.
Mhm.
Make us whole again.
It's something that all the fans and everybody's got to look forward to now. For 2021, we are halfway to it. We're in May, approaching June already, right? What are the things that we could expect from you? And will you be having an online concert? Will you be
Okay,
having a show that we could watch out for?
here is what I was supposed to do. Now uh, it may still happen. Okay, this year we were supposed to have a series of 4 shows called
Mhm.
Gary V Live and Raw. Okay, wherein each show is something that you subscribe to. So
Mhm.
uh, you get in and then you can watch all 4 shows, all of which would have been different concepts per show. So it's not the same show, done 4 times. It's 4 totally different shows.
Mhm.
That's what it was supposed to be. But it was live and raw. It's like hopefully with a live band. I would
Mhm.
shoot it somewhere and it would be broken down into my personal favorite songs. That's the whole concert. The songs I
Mhm.
used to do back in the day, that's another concert. My favorite Gary V songs, that would be another concert. I mean, these were all the ideas we had in mind. Then, after the fourth concert, there was supposed to be the big concert called Pure
Mhm.
Energy One More Time. That is going to probably be my most memorable of all concerts. I will
Mm.
not go into as to why I consider it to be that. Hey, Aaron, thanks. Wow, how nice naman to read that message. Thanks, Aaron. But that concert will be one that, for me, will be
Mhm.
perhaps the most memorable of all my concerts, all my big concerts, because there are small
Mhm.
ones that I do that are very memorable too, that I wish I could repeat. But so that's what I'm doing now. That's just one. There are
Mhm.
other things I'm actually going to start working on again, because in 2007, 2007, 2008, I ventured into what I now realize and is called cinematic audio,
Mm.
wherein it's short stories, but it sounds like you're watching a movie minus the video. So you
Mhm.
allow the piece or the podcast or the material will allow your mind to create your own scenario, as
Mhm.
to what the story looked like. And these were short stories from the Bible. So like
Mhm.
3 minute, 4 minute, but they would have music at the back being played and it would be cinematically arranged. But these are my songs. So you have songs
Mhm.
like Take Me Out of the Dark, Could You Be Messiah, Break Me, but you'll hear it and you'll probably hear it and go, I know this story, but that song sounds like,
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
but it's actually scored like pang pelikula. So I worked on a couple of podcasts in 2007, and I just met these people, brand new friends of mine from a group called Pray.com.
Mhm.
Um, and basically, it's got tons of followers who listen to all sorts of material, from podcasts to bedtime stories to
Mhm.
meditation, material and all. And when I made them listen to some of the stuff that I've already worked on, they were very encouraged and they said, "This is something we can definitely post, and it will have an international, audience
Mhm.
too, together with, of course, the Filipinos from all over the world." But that's another thing I'm working on, Rico, and I'm kind of excited about that because it
Mhm.
really sounds like it's something that I've been waiting for in the opportunity to share it with the world. I've been
Mhm.
waiting for the opportunity, and I started it out in 2007, and now
Mhm.
14 years later, the
It's
opportunity is here.
Yeah, and
All
it's in such a
done.
big platform. It's such a big platform that worldwide. But how about a podcast, like where people can talk to you? Will you be up for it?
I'm thinking about doing that. Really, I
Mhm.
am. My right now, my doors are all open, and I'll wait. Because that's something else. They said in Pray.com that they wanted to open up something like that for me,
Mhm.
a podcast kind of thing. I'm kind of shy. I'm not sure if I want to go there yet, as of yet. But if that's really where my leading, my calling leads me, then
Mhm.
I'll have to do that, and I think that I will be enjoying it.
Oh my goodness, this is something that we will look forward to.
Yeah,
All of us that
I can't,
love to listen to you.
can't wait to share it. Of course, I'm still into my bike blogs. I
Mhm.
haven't posted one in a long time, only because I didn't feel it was the right time because everybody was
Mhm.
kind of feeling down, and showing a bike vlog would have may have come across as me not really caring about what else is going on. um, but I think now is a good time to start posting them again. But to all the bikers, all the people who just go out into the road and exercise and all, please stay hydrated because the heat is dangerous. So do take care of yourselves always.
Mhm.
Okay, so that bike vlogs, which I enjoy doing. In fact, I'll be finishing the latest one in today, and I might post it by Sunday or Monday. So
How do
yeah,
we watch it? Is it on
it's
your
on YouTube. It's,
socials?
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
It's Gary Valenciano. Yeah, Gary Valenciano official on
Mhm.
on YouTube, and yeah, it's all there. I have a couple. I don't have many bike blogs just yet, but it's
Uh-huh.
called V Cicleta. Gary V Cicleta.
Basically, hey, like I like the whole wordplay there, huh? So other than of course the music, are you going to be doing some more super selfies with Gab? We enjoy watching that.
Ooh. It's not me. It's Gab. Gab's the one who's not into the super selfies as much now as he used to be. Although I've noticed that he's been watching them again, and so I
Mhm.
think somewhere deep inside of him, he's thinking of kind of creating some of those super selfies again. And if he needs me, wow, why not? I mean, it's the craziest side of me. because of my crazy son, but I don't mind. It's something that has made a lot of people laugh and has really made people wonder, what? He does this? Yeah, I do. That's it's just
And it
being
it
that.
got him worldwide fame, right? But before we go, thank you for taking time to join us. We know it's the NBA playoffs. Last
Ah,
time we spoke to Mr. Ogie Alcacid, we were talking about which team he would want. He's a Laker, he's a LeBron
Lakers
fan.
yan,
So
Lakers
how
yan.
about you? Who are you gunning for? Who to win the playoffs? To win it all?
Wala na. My team, wala na. None of my teams have been doing good in the past years. Well, okay, like this. Okay, I have to explain lang. Okay, I used to be a Bulls fan because of Michael Jordan, and I told myself I will forever be a Bulls fan. So I am a Bulls
Mm,
fan, but that's a different level. But if I were to bring it to the level of where we are today, I'm a Warriors fan.
mhm,
Okay, I love Steph Curry, and then New York Knicks because of Derrick Rose, who is my
mhm,
favorite player. Okay,
mhm,
and because Warriors Solana, and then New York is kind of there, and I'm hoping that they end up being the dark horse. That they
mhm,
come out and maybe even making it up to the Eastern finals. But after New York, it would have to be the Lakers.
mhm,
Respect LeBron and all that, and he's not getting any younger, so it would be good to see him. At least try and go for it one more time, and hopefully
mhm.
win it too. If they make
I
it to
mean,
the finals.
his goal is to play with his son. We'll see. But man, they're at number 7. I'm for the Lakers too, but we will see how he'll fare out. I
Yeah.
swear. But Gary, thank you for joining us.
God, this was great. I
You
really
know,
enjoyed this. Can I just greet some people? I don't
go for it. Go for it.
just I want to say hello to the Gary VE groups. These guys are so amazing, Rico. They've supported me. The solids, they've been with me since like 38, 39 years ago. No, 38 years ago. They would visit me every Sunday in my house. The nationals are also here. That's Alotsky and Sheila and Tet, Zelda, Luz, Nora, Remy, Randy, Arem, Naomi, and the USA gang. That's Ashley and wow, Ashley. Hope you're doing okay. Everyone else, Ann Veles. Um, I want to thank you, Anne, for just for all the support as well. And happy birthday to Randy, and happy birthday to a dear, dear friend of mine, Jaja Padilla. I can't wait to see you in ASAP again, Ja. But I hope you have a great birthday today. And happy 35th anniversary to my Genesis team. They've kept me around. And hello to Erica team, Valenciano. So thank you guys for being here. I want to thank also Marliza and JM. Thank you very, very much. And the lady a while ago, Cynthia,
Mhm.
she's from UAE in Dubai. And Cynthia, I remember you from way, 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 way back. So thank you for also joining me here today. There, it's a
See,
lot.
if you make a podcast,
I
Gary, we could go to sleep and wake up to your voice. You know what I mean?
imagine
Every
if I have a
morning.
podcast, no? Hello.
Yeah, you will be like the way I watch Jordan Peterson. You're gonna be the Jordan Peterson of my life. Every morning, you'll be like, Rico, wake
It's not,
up.
yeah. Hey, you
Awesome
guys are
stuff.
waiting up
Awesome.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked about it, Rico. I've talked about it with the guys of Pray.com, and that doesn't look like it's going to. It looks like something that's very possible. So I'll keep you
That's
updated. Okay.
yes, and when it's all up, we'll
Oh,
have you guest again. We'll have you guest again on the show. All right.
sure, sure, Rico. Anytime.
All right. Thank you very much for making us whole again with your songs, with your music, with your words, and such an inspiration. Stay safe. When
I would
everything is all is well, we'll have you here in the studio
I would love to do
performing.
that again. I don't know how it's gonna
Yeah.
be if I'm there and I sit down. It's like, hey man, I can reach out to you here. I don't know. I'm
it's
really
it's
looking forward to that.
yeah.
You know,
And
if that
and
can
we
happen,
are all of us.
if that can happen by Christmas, I don't think people need to give gifts to each other. They just need to be there for each other and give a
True.
hug, and that will be the greatest gift I think that we can receive this Christmas is to be able to hug, to go back to the human nature sort of thing. You can shake the hand, give a kiss, and hug. That's it. No words need to be said. It's just like, man, I love you. It's good to see you. It's good to be here.
It's been a long time, right? It's been a long, long time.
Don't
Oh
change human nature, di ba? We have to. Oh, my last advice to everyone would be: I know that practicing the protocol of social distancing is important, but social distancing should not equate to emotional distancing. So do check on the people that you love, and I'm sure those people that you love will also check on you. But make sure that you're there. Simple words of encouragement. Even just a hey, kamusta? Sometimes that can change a person's way of thinking at the point where that person may be struggling with thoughts. But when they hear that somebody's asking how they are, that can at least usher in a change of direction for that moment. So yun lang. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for making our Friday fantastic, Gary. And of course, the song request for it, people. Once again, make us cool again. Thank you to everybody, Team Genesis. For you guys, happy 30th anniversary for the team, the hardworking team, the men and women of Genesis. In behalf of the Monster, thank you, Mr. Pure Energy, for sharing with us your energy. And we discovered today, napapagod din pala si Mr. Pure Energy, Gary V.
Just like everybody else. So,
and thank you. Thank you for spending your Friday with us. You guys take care, the whole family. Till then, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Rico. Bye.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What an awesome interview. Got to learn so many things with Mr. Gary V. Don't forget, request for the song here in the Monster, Make Us Whole Again. All you got to do is type in at RX931. For those who need a little inspiration in life, tag the person. And thank you guys for taking time to watch. There, of course, for Facebook Live, for Twitch and YouTube. My name is Rico Robles, so we continue the music.
Monster exclusive interview only on Manila's hottest Monster